Skip, I'm really disappointed in both guys that they both allowed it to escalate to this situation. I'm disappointed in Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant can't get caught up in this situation. I understand Kevin Durant is extremely sensitive. And Skip, a lot of times, things that I say on the show, I'll repost to my feed. And he'll always leave a comment. He'll always respond. But Skip, I'm not going back and forth with Kevin Durant. I got kids damn near old as Kevin Durant. I don't argue with my own kids. I don't debate with my own kids. I'd be damn if I'm going to debate with someone else's. So Kevin Durant doesn't like all the things that I say. When I say things good, he has no problem with that. But my job is just not to heap praise. Skip, you've even said it before. Wow, you're really critical of LeBron in that situation. I'm surprised. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You're right, you're right. But Kevin, you can't let someone's, because they say you're a snake or they said you did this and you shouldn't have done that, react in this manner. Yep. You can't do it, KD. Skip, and I know you tell me all the time, Shannon, you got to stop responding. But I cannot in good conscience, Skip, not respond to some of my followers because I asked them to get up every morning at 6:30 and tune in to you and I. I asked them to subscribe to my podcast. I asked them to sometimes go possibly buy some of the products that I'm pitching. So I cannot think that I should be above them, that I'm beyond reproach, that they can't ask me a question. Now, I don't always respond, but a lot of times I do respond. But I'm not going to respond the way Kevin Durant responded with all the vitriol and the hatred that he displays towards Michael Rapaport. Mike's a good friend of mine. Now, Skip, Mike and I go back and forth. But Mike and I have that type of relationship where we can go back and forth. I don't know if Mike and KD have that type of relationship that they can go back and forth. And even in a situation like that, the type of relationship that Mike and I have, we can't go back and forth like that. I'm just disappointed in Mike that Mike revealed the DMs because I'm a firm believer, Skip, that things that are said in the DMs should be left there. Skip, a lot of people that I get to come on my podcast, you know how I reach out to them? Through the DM, on Twitter and social media. Rick Rawls, King Griffey Jr., a lot of the people that I've had on my show, that's how I get in touch with them. I do respond occasionally to some athlete that's currently playing in the DM. I would never reveal what was discussed between me and said individual, no matter how upset they may get at me. KD, you can't do this. I'm not so sure that Adam Silver is not going to step in and intervene and have a conversation and maybe even fine Kevin Durant for some of the things that he said. But Mike, just let it go. You know how he's going to respond to you. Guys, just stop following each other. KD, ask your friends not to send you anything that someone has said negative about you. Because right now you're not in a place where you can handle criticism, especially negative criticism that you believe goes beyond your skill set. What you should have done is said, guy, look here, man. Hey, you got your opinion. I'm just trying to get healthy so I can get back on the court so I can help my team win a championship. All that other stuff y'all talking has no bearing on how good or how great I might think I am. So I'm not going to get into the fray with you guys going back and forth. This is the way I'm going to handle it. But you don't have to threaten the guy. Man, that's Michael Rapaport. Hey, come on, he's a comedian. Yeah, Skipper, you know how some comedians, they say things to get you riled up. We've all been to comedy shows. And they pick on the biggest guy. Sometimes they pick on, oh, you ain't going to do nothing. Come on, KD. And this is the way you respond to a guy? Mike, I'm just disappointed. And like I said, Mike is a contributor to the show. He comes on the show a lot. And he and I, we go back and forth. You know, he's a Knicks fan, the Giants, and I'm a Bron. And so we go back and forth, Skip. But this got out of pocket. KD out of pocket for what he said. That was well beyond what calling you say you can't win and what Mike said. KD was out of pocket for this. Leave the man's wife out. Don't mention anything about the man's wife. Kids, KD, money, wife, kids, that's always off limits. Leave that alone. So I'm disappointed with both guys because even though what was said by Kevin Durant was absolutely 1,000% wrong, I still don't believe Michael should have shared that with the public. Address that with KD. Because, Skip, I had a situation this summer that I said something, Jalen Ramsey responded. You know what I did, Skip? I reached out to him in the DM. Let's have a conversation. We had a conversation. We squashed it. Boom. That's how I believe you can, men, Skip, educated, thoughtful, considerate men that have enough respect for one another. I believe that's the way you should handle a situation. This took a left turn, and it shouldn't have.